Hi, I'm Adam from the Wellington Astronomical Society. In this video, we're looking at the night sky for July 2026. As usual, we'll take a look at the moon phases, the planets, and then onto a tour of the constellations and deep sky from Stellarium. Let's get started. We have last quarter on the 8th, and then a new moon a week later on the 14th. Then to first quarter on the 21st, and finally back to the full moon on the 30th. This means that the best observing conditions will be towards the middle of the month, and given the long darkness hours we have at this time of year, it gives us plenty of time to get out and have some good viewing, if the weather cooperates. Speaking of the moon, just like last month, we have another occultation with the same star, Nunki, in Sagittarius. It happens on the 28th. So if occultations are your thing, and you missed out on the two occultations that we had last month, then you can watch this one. Unfortunately, it's not at such a friendly hour. In this one, the star disappears at 1:15 AM and then reappears at 5:20. Now, as always, with occultations, you don't need to go anywhere dark to see it. You can just use binoculars and look at it from in town. Let's move on to the planets. At the beginning of the month, you'll see Venus low and bright in the western sky just after sunset as the sky darkens. Once that's gone at around 8 PM, you won't see any more planets until Saturn rises at 1 AM. Now that'll be followed by Mars rising and with Orion just before the sunrise. Moving to the end of the month, Venus is setting around 9 PM, but Saturn makes its appearance earlier, rising at around 11 PM, followed by Mars at 5 AM, and then Mercury just before sunrise. Now Mercury reaches its highest point in the morning sky on the 29th, so if you're looking in the morning sky at the east at the end of the month, you'll see a triangle formed by Aldebaran, Betelgeuse, and Mars. While those will all look rather similar, one of them is not like the others. Let's stay in the same region and come back to the morning of the 10th, being Matariki Day here in Aotearoa, New Zealand. Sure enough, we can see Matariki rising, and in case that's hard to see, this year we have Saturn, the Moon, and Mars all helping us to locate it. Matariki is at the front of the Tainui Waka, with the stars of Orion's belt, Tautoro, forming the tail. You'll see all this on Matariki morning with Te Marama lighting the way. Up here, and also in the description, is a link to an excellent talk from last month by Matt Boucher on the subject of Matariki and Maori astronomy in Aotearoa. Check it out if you missed it. Let's move on to the deep sky and take a look at what's appearing this month. For this, we're on Saturday the 18th, starting at 8 PM. Now the most obvious feature at this time of year is the arc of the Milky Way. That stretches directly overhead, and this is the best time of year to see it. And with it being so high overhead, you're not going to be looking through so much atmosphere at it, which means that you'll be able to see more of its features in clear definition. You can clearly see the bulge in the centre, and so this is a good time to try some astrophotography featuring the Milky Way, wide-field astrophotography. If your phone has a night mode setting, try it, and zoom out as far as your phone will go. Astro Backyard has a useful guide for Milky Way photography, covering both cameras and mobile phones, and the settings for them. The link is here and in the description below. Now there's enough in the Milky Way to take a good few hours observing it. So find a clear night, grab your binoculars, head to a dark site, and have some hot drinks on standby. Then look up. Slowly sweep the binoculars along the Milky Way and see how much of its shape and definition that you can see as you extend your gaze up to directly overhead. You should be able to see light and dark patches and be able to make out some shape. If you can get to a viewing event with telescopes, then you can look for some of the more specific targets along the Milky Way, such as the Eagle Nebula, which is about halfway up towards the zenith. Now, this is a very famous target because it contains the so-called pillars of creation, which were made famous by the Hubble Space Telescope. Each one of those pillars is around 4 light years long. For comparison, that's the distance between us and our nearest star 4 light years away. In the same area, you'll also see the Omega Nebula and the Lagoon Nebula. They all look quite faint, but if you can see the nebulosity, you'll be seeing glowing gas clouds from hundreds of light years away. Finally, let's take a look at the constellations. The winter constellations are up in their full glory. Sagittarius is now moving past opposition, and it will soon be Capricornus' turn. In the same neighbourhood, we also have Scorpius and Ophiuchus and Libra, while Virgo is doing a bungee jump straight into the northwestern horizon. Now, before we finish, no night sky tour would be complete without another interesting fact about the Southern Cross, which is that on this day, the 18th, the long axis of the Southern Cross will be pointing directly south just as the sun sets. Anyway, that's our night sky for July. Clear skies, happy stargazing, and thanks for watching.